everybody, welcome back. I'm Urvishi, and today in this video I'm going to be talking about the month of October, the important transits for the month of October, and I'm also going to be discussing for each ascendant sign and each moon sign what this month is generally looking like, the highlights that you may feel this month. So why am I saying each ascendant as well as each moon sign is because in Vedic astrology you should watch or you should check both your ascendant and moon sign to see results. And all videos that you watch, all transit videos should also be watched both from the ascendant as well as the moon. I am going to share a video of mine in the description below, and I'll give a link here also, so that there is more clarity as to what the ascendant is and what the moon is and why we should watch videos from both the points. So the other thing I want to clarify here is in Vedic astrology we have something very important which is called a dasha. A dasha is are periods when different planets rule you. Basically you will start getting results according to the placements, according to the promises, the yogas indicated by that particular planet. But of course in all dashas we have sub periods. In all major periods you will have sub periods or antar dashas of the other planets, and you will get results of those other planets as well. So whenever you're looking up your chart and you're seeing a certain dasha as you're under the period of a certain dasha or a certain major or sub period and you're waiting for results, then you should look for the right transits. When the transit supports the dasha, you will get the results. If the transit is not supporting the dasha, then you will not feel the result. And just by watching transits itself, sometimes we will not get results. We have to check or wait for the right transits that coincide with the dashas that are there in your chart. So that is how you look up Vedic astrology. Both the dasha and the transit are important. Transit has to support the dasha. So you will not get exactly the same results as I am saying. You may not feel everything that I am saying. But whatever the dasha is saying, which part of the transit supports that dasha, you will feel that effect. So in the month of October, all the major planets, Saturn is in its own sign now and it's direct. Jupiter is in its own sign, it's direct. Mars is the only planet that is retrograde. When the month begins, Mars is in Pisces. Pisces is not the best placement for Mars. It's a watery sign and Mars is a fiery planet. On the other hand, we have the quicker planets, the faster planets. Sun changes its zodiac every month. So Sun is going to be half the month in Virgo and the next half is going to be in Libra. And Mercury is going to be in Libra throughout. Mercury goes retrograde on the 13th, and on the 20th Mercury goes combust as well. So Mercury combust here can give a low time where business and where finances are concerned. Venus is going to be in the sign of Leo for most of the month. On the 23rd, Venus will enter Virgo, and Virgo is the debilitation sign for Venus. But for the first 23 days, Venus is going to be in Leo, Sun is in Libra, Sun is in debility, but because of this exchange of Venus and Sun, the Sun gets strength. After the 23rd, Venus enters Virgo, and now Venus is going to be in an exchange yoga with Mercury. So Venus throughout pretty much stays strong, but of course you will feel the impact of Venus in Leo and then Venus in Virgo as well. Mercury stays throughout in Libra, but it goes retrograde, it goes combust. Sun will be half the month in Virgo and then in Libra. Rahu is now in Taurus and Ketu is now in Scorpio. So that is what the planetary placement is for this month. Well, Venus in Leo is a very grand Venus. You would want everything in style. You would want, good show of love and affection if you are in a relationship. This is a good, exchange between the 5th and the 7th house, creativity and business. The sign of Libra is also signifies the marketplace, so there is an exchange, so which shows good results, which shows gains, because the 5th house is the 11th from the 7th, so this shows gains through business. So that's how the month starts. And it also shows growth in relationships. Many of us who would be interested may be falling in love and then getting on to grow that relationship. So it shows a lot of expectations in relationships. It shows generosity, and it shows seeking attention. We would want a lot of attention where relationships are concerned. And it shows if there are any kind of indifferences, or if there is a stagnation in relationship, then one may just move out of that relationship also, because in the sign of Libra, sun is debilitated. So if you've been stagnating in some kind of a relationship for a while and you have not been able to take such a decision, you may be able to take the decision now. Venus in Virgo, on the 23rd, Venus will enter Virgo. Venus gets debilitated. Lots of analysis, lots of analyzing, critical analyzing in relationships, in creativity, in art, in beauty, and lots of going into detail, but also a good attitude towards service. So for service people, showing comfort in service, showing there is an attitude of being of service to others. Mercury and Sun in Libra. Well, Mercury in Libra is the natural sign for relationships. Mercury here shows that one would want a lot of discussions, a lot of talks, a lot of intellectual activity where relationships is concerned. One would want a lot of balance in relationships, in business partnerships, in partnerships, all relationships, not necessarily love. Libra is a sign for the other people. So where all other people in your life are concerned, you would want to strike a balance. You would want there to be harmony. You would not want any conflict. But Mercury is also the planet for decision making. And when Mercury comes in Libra, sometimes it's making decisions is not very easy, because we're always weighing the pros and cons. Should I do this? Should I not do this? So in the process, sometimes we're not able to make decisions. Sun here too in the sign, in the house of balance. And so Sun is the planet for dharma. Sun is the planet for your responsibility and your duty. And Sun is the planet for truthfulness, of your intelligence. So here Sun in the sign of balance, you may also be trying so hard to strike a balance that in the process you may end up lying to somebody, or have somebody lie to you, because Mercury here, the significator of speech, is with Sun here. They're going to be in very close proximity, and the Sun is debilitated here. So there could be somebody, or you may have to do this for the sake of maintaining peace, that you may have to lie to somebody, or you may get lied to by somebody. So there could be a confusion in relationships with Venus also going into debility, though it should all turn out all right, because there is an exchange yoga which gives strength to the planets. But there could be certain situations like this. This could happen in love relationships. This could happen in any other kind of relationships, including business. So now let's talk about all the zodiacs, all the ascendants, and see how this month looks like. Aries, the 5th house will have Venus. The 7th house has Sun and Mercury, and the Sun moves from the 6th to the 7th house. So good related to your work. The initial 15 days is looking good. People will recognize your work. You will be working hard and people will recognize your work. You could meet somebody. If you're looking to get into a relationship, having Venus in the 5th house is very promising. So with your children, this shows you may be spending good quality time with your children. Having Mercury in the 7th house shows that you would be associating with a lot of people. You could be making new relationships with people. And especially after the 15th, when the Sun also comes into the 7th house, so it's looking very promising. But Mercury is going to be combust, so where finances and where business is concerned, I would still suggest you be a little careful about whatever you're going ahead with. Like I said, Sun Mercury here can have the tendency of somebody lying to us or we lying to somebody. Some kind of a confusion like that could be there for you, because the ascendant lord is still in the 12th house. It's retrograde. You may not even recognize what's happening. And so also another indication here is this debilitated sun aspecting the ascendant lord in the 12th house. So be careful about your health. There could be a visit to the hospital also. Work is looking good. Jupiter, Saturn, all well placed. 9th lord, the 10th lord, that is all looking fine. So now I'm going to be talking about Taurus. For Taurus, in your 4th house, you're going to be having Venus. The ascendant lord has gone to the 4th house, and after the 23rd, the ascendant lord will go into the 5th house. Sun will move from the 5th to the 6th house. So you may be spending good quality time at home with your children. You may be interested in educating yourself, taking up an educational course. This could be related to your work also, to your profession. And especially in the first 15-20 days, you are going to seriously contemplate taking some kind of a course. For love relationships, I will not say this is the best month, because Venus is going to be in debility in the 5th house. And so if you've been going through a bad relationships and there's going to be an exchange of the 5th and the 6th house, there could be a breakage of a relationship as well. For work, for getting recognized in work, for service, for new skills, this month is looking really good. You're going to start feeling very confident with Rahu in the ascendant, and ketu in the 7th house may withdraw you a little bit from other people. But generally this month is looking good, because you finally have Jupiter direct in the 8th house. So any psychological problems, issues that you had in the past, you're going to feel more settled about that. Finally Jupiter is direct, and there are no malefics in your 8th house. So that does show a lot of peace finally in your subconscious. You're sleeping well probably now. But yeah, there is some kind of a disturbance. This exchange of the 5th and the 6th house, disturbance with children, disturbance with creativity, with learning, with knowledge could be there, or with a relationship. I'm now going to be talking about Gemini. For Gemini people, Venus is in the 3rd house. In the 4th house, you're going to be having first the sun, and then the sun will move into the 5th house, and Venus on the 23rd will also move into the 4th house. So there is going to be first an exchange between there will be an exchange between the 3rd and the 5th house, and then an exchange between the 4th and the 5th house. So this exchange between 4th and 5th house, Mercury and Venus, this is a very good transit for you, anything related to property, real estate, anything related to learning, to knowledge, to children. This could give you good results. So plus you have Sun, the 3rd lord, also in the 5th house. So this can be related to some creative project, some learning, some knowledge, some talent that you have that you may not have explored earlier. Jupiter is also direct now in the 7th house. Jupiter direct in the 7th house, and having Mercury Sun in the 5th house. Exchange of Mercury Venus, basically the 5th and 4th lord exchange, does promise good results in a relationship. And now I'm going to be talking about Cancer. For Cancer, you have Venus in the 2nd house. In the 3rd house, you will first have the sun for the first 15 days, and then the sun goes into the 4th house. And so Venus will then move into the 2nd house, exchange of 3rd and 4th house. In fact, some journey, some travel, some disturbance at home, your routine, you will feel there is a disruption in your routine, whatever you're doing, or on a daily basis. There could be somebody coming, or there could be some travel involved that will disrupt your routine, that will disrupt your home environment as well. So that kind of a disruption is seen, expenditure is seen, but good time for spending time with siblings. You could be interacting with siblings, you could be interacting with some of your old friends. That way this month looks good. Jupiter is now direct in the 6th house. Your daily routine seems more settled now. Less of effort you're making and more of results you'll be getting. But Saturn is still in the 7th house, and here Saturn could cause some kind of a strain between you and your spouse, because Venus is also going to be in debilitation. So if the dashas are there, if the promise in the chart is there, then you may feel an effect like that. Now I'm going to be talking about Leo. For Leo, the 10th Lord Venus will be in the ascendant for the first 23 odd days, and Sun will move from the second house to the third house. Exchange of the second and third Lord will also happen. The ascendant Lord will be in the third house, first in the second, then in the third. So this is very, very closely connected to your career. Some kind of idea related to career, related to making wealth. There could be a new initiative that you take up, something that you've been planning for a while, but since Mercury is going to be retrograde combust, you should think about the timing whenever you're going to start something new. But a new initiative is seen from here. Something related to career will come to you very naturally. These are good yogas, having the 10th Lord in the first house and then the 10th Lord in the second house. Both of these yogas are very good, and since Venus is in an exchange yoga, it looks pretty fine even though it's debilitated, but the exchange of Mercury and Venus balances things out. So lots of effort, lots of hard work, lots of initiative, lots of travel could also be there, and there could be some expenditure also for you this month. In your 5th house, you have Jupiter now in direct motion finally. So lots of ideas coming. Those that are planning children, this is like an awesome month for you. Since Saturn is also now direct in the 6th house, I think this is the best time to put in effort in whatever initiatives that you want to do, but just be careful of the days when Mercury is combust as well. Now I'm going to be talking about Virgo. For Virgo people, Sun is going to be first in the ascendant and then in the second house. Mercury is going to be in the second house, retrograde throughout, and Venus is going to be first in the 12th house and then in the first house. So here there is a close connection of the 12th house, the first house and the second house. This, given the current circumstances, the current situation, could mean expenditure, could mean a trip to the hospital, could mean some kind of travel. So for Virgo people, since the ascendant Lord is going to be with a debilitated planet and the 12th Lord is going to be in the ascendant, I will say that you got to be extra careful about your health this month. But things at home are looking much more peaceful. All that that was happening since the past few months, in fact since the past more than a year, is looking more settled. There's more peace at home. You are happier mentally, and you're now better able to connect with your children. But it's just that your health, there could be an issue. You could now be seriously thinking about any business ventures that you've been planning for a while. Any ideas you have related to making money, you could now seriously also be considering that side. Now I'm going to be talking about Libra. For Libra, you're going to be having Venus, the ascendant Lord, in the 11th house, and then it moves to the 12th house, and Sun will be in the 12th house, and then it will move to the ascendant, and along with that you will have the 12th Lord, which is also the 9th Lord. So for Libra people, here the ascendant Lord in the 11th house is great for ambition. So you may feel very ambitious right now. Also having the Sun debilitated in the ascendant here, so there is one debilitated planet in the ascendant. The ascendant Lord will be in debility after the 23rd. Be very cautious about your health. We all know the current environment right now, so be very, very cautious, especially after the 23rd, after the 22nd, 23rd. Mercury in the ascendant, good luck for Libra people. There is travel. There could be good news related to some project, something that you've been waiting for, because this is the 9th and the 11th Lord. So this is a good yoga in the ascendant, but it's also the 12th Lord, and the ascendant Lord is going to be debilitated. So certain health indications can be there, negative indications, but could have good news, could have good luck related to work, related to some opportunity that you've been waiting for this month. Jupiter is now in the 3rd house. Any initiatives that you take, any effort that you take, any meetings that you plan on with your siblings, all that is going to really go well. And Saturn is now in the 4th house. Major projects, major issues related to property, related to any property issues that you have, those may escalate. Now I'm going to be talking about Scorpio people. You have in the 10th house you have Venus, in the 11th house you have Sun for the first 15 days, and in the 12th house you will have Mercury and Sun after the 15th. So Venus in the 10th house looks comfortable where your work is concerned. Your work routine is going to feel very comfortable this month. But Ketu is now in the ascendant. You're going to feel very introspective. You're going to be thinking deeply. If you're into some kind of research, then this is Ketu's transit is going to be good for you. If you're into some spiritual routine, even then this transit is going to be good for you. Otherwise, you're going to feel very introspective and very withdrawn. But career wise, in the 10th house, having Venus is a good position. But there is going to be the exchange between the 11th and the 12th house. So if you have any anything to do with foreign countries, gains from abroad, if you're into some export-import business, working with MNCs or something like that, then this looks gainful for you. Other than that, it shows a lot of expenditure. It shows wasteful travel. It shows related to your work, you may have to travel a lot also. So that kind of a thing. Now I'm going to be talking about Sagittarius. For Sagittarius, now you have Jupiter in the ascendant and it's finally direct. Saturn is in the second house, and in the 9th house you have Venus. In the 10th house you have Sun for the first 15 days, and then in the 11th house you will have Sun and Mercury in retrograde motion. Good for career. For Sagittarius, this month looks good for career. Having Sun in directional strength, your bosses will recognize your work. You will get rewards for your work. Your social circle will increase. People from in your social circle may come and support you, may come and help you. You may be interested in some kind of travel or some kind of higher learning, but where finances are concerned, Saturn is still in the second house, and Saturn expects a lot of wisdom where expenditure is concerned. So it will still expect you to be wise while spending money. Also, Sun here is the 9th lord in the 11th house. So the 9th and the 10th lord are together in the 11th house. This is a good Dharam Karam Adhipati Yoga, and in the ascendant you have Jupiter. So some kind of dharmic activity, some responsibility you may be fulfilling this month. I'm going to be talking about Capricorn. For Capricorn people, Venus is in the 8th house. Venus is in the 8th house. In the 9th house you have first the Sun, and then in the 10th house you will have Sun and Mercury. So again, this is a good exchange of the 9th and the 10th lords, and this again shows a Dharam Karam Adhipati Yoga. It also shows fortune in work, fortune in career, new opportunities that you may have been looking for may come across your way. So be very alert if you've been looking for an opportunity. It shows some kind of a responsibility that you may have to fulfill. It also shows there could be certain hidden elements also related to your work, because Sun here is the 8th lord. So if there are issues that you've been hiding, there are issues that you've not escalated related to your career, to your work, they may get escalated. So little bit of caution is required, but all in all, the exchange of the 9th and the 10th house, the ascendant lord strong in the ascendant, is looking very, very good for you. So now I'm going to be talking about Aquarius. For Aquarius people, you have Venus in the 7th house. In the 8th house you have Sun, and then Sun is going to move into the 9th house. So Mercury and Venus in the 9th house, Mercury and Sun in the 9th house, and there will be an exchange between the 8th and the 9th house. Lagnesha, Saturn is still in the 12th house. The 11th lord is now in the 11th house in direct motion. So for you here, firstly, the first indication is that you have an exchange of the 8th and the 9th lord, which is not very good, which we do not consider very fortunate. So there could be certain unexpected gains can also happen, certain unexpected losses, because the 8th house is also unexpected hidden things. Since there is an exchange, it could be unexpectedly good, unexpectedly bad. And but Venus is in the 7th house. Good time for relationships, meeting new people, interacting with new people, and also, you know, this could also show relationships related to business. But the ascendant lord is in the 12th house also, so little bit of a health indication can also be there, little bit of an issue related to your health. For Pisces, you have the 10th lord in the 10th house, which is very fortunate. And the 8th house will have Mercury and will have Sun in debility. Sun is the 6th lord in the 8th house. So this is a Viprit Raj Yoga. The 6th lord in the 8th house, a disease could go away. You know, a hidden enemy may go away. Somebody that is really bothering you, some conflict may go away. So something like that. Also, you will have Venus in the 7th house and Mercury in the 8th house. So this is an exchange between Venus and Mercury. The 7th and 8th lord, hidden relationships, things that are hidden from you may come up, and relationships could give you trouble. So those are the major issues that you could face. For career, the 9th lord in the 9th house is looking awesome. The 10th lord in the 10th house, which is also the ascendant lord in the 11th house, you have Saturn now. That is all looking great. And the 3rd house has Rahu, so again great for initiatives. The 9th house has Ketu. So the entire chart is very, very nice. Other than if you are in a government service, anything related to authority figures, Sun debilitated in the 8th house then shows trouble, because Sun is a lord of service also for you. So there you got to be careful. We'll be seeing you in the next video. Bye bye for now.